welcome to Don't Do Disney
Without Us.
My name is Daniel.
And my name is Zach.
And welcome back to our show. This is a little show where we like to talk about all things Disney, including the theme parks, the Disney Plus service,
Everything.
movies.
Everything but the sports.
Everything but the sports. Yeah, we've been on a break for a little bit, so welcome back.
Yes, we'll call this our Season 2 premiere.
Season 2 premiere. Our sound may be a little weird because we basically refloored the upstairs here and with hard floor, and which looks gorgeous, by the way.
Well, I'm sure you've seen it in pictures on our Instagram or our Twitter or our Facebook or our other social media accounts, but, you know.
I can't make the music stop. I've forgotten how to podcast. Anyway, yeah. So, but what it had an unintended consequence of causing a lot of echo up here because bare walls, hardwood. Well, not bare walls, but these things don't soak up as much sound as you would think they would. Anyway, I think we're okay now. We have a lot of rugs now.
We do.
Yeah.
We bought rugs for every room in the upstairs.
That's right. Anyway, but my apologies if we're sounding echoey at all or forgetting how to podcast because we did take a break. I think the last time we podcasted was well before Christmas.
Yes, it's been, I think, 91 days.
91 days. So I guess this is season 2. That's how they do that. It's like, yeah, this is season 2. We meant to do that. We meant to have a break. And we'll do it every year at that same time. Anyway, welcome. If you're new, welcome. Today we're going to try to remember how to do a podcast, and then hopefully we'll get better at it as time goes along. So a lot of things have happened since the last time we recorded.
A lot of things.
We've had a leadership shakeup at Disney.
Bob Chapek got fired.
John Paycheck got fired. I don't know why it came out that way. Bob Chapek got fired, replaced by Bob Iger, who I guess just has 2 years to name his replacement. Like they brought him back in. They're like, okay, the guy you picked
Sucked.
Not so good. So you got one more shot. Come back in, take 2 years, and figure out who really is going to take over the company. So we'll see. We'll see what happens after a couple of years. And
I am not a betting man, so I'm not putting money on anybody because
I don't even know the names.
No.
I don't even know who the contenders would be.
And honestly, I don't know that we as outside people, maybe as shareholders, I don't know that that's really any of our business.
I mean, if you think about it, Eisner came from outside of the company. Bob Iger came from outside of the company. So there is a history of the CEOs being from other industries, like, CEOs of other industries that were brought in to helm Disney. Disney has never really done great, unless someone can point me to someone who was an original Disney cast member, that came up through the ranks that became CEO that did a good job. Maybe Cardwalker? I don't know. I mean, other than Walt, I don't think that and Roy, I don't think there really has been. I think most of the good CEOs that we remember have been from other industries that have come in. Anyway, we'll see. So who knows? But that changed. What else changed since the last since before Christmas? What else has changed?
Oh, you know that ride that Disney took 5 years to build?
You mean the roller coaster that they started building before the pandemic and then stopped construction on it during the pandemic, and then restarted it a few years later? That one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Tron
Lightcycle Run.
Tron Lightcycle Run has opened, at least for pass holder previews and cast member previews.
And DVC previews and all the other previews. And by the time it actually opens, half of Florida is going to have ridden the damn thing already.
Including us. We rode it this past weekend. We rode it on Saturday. Now, you are someone who gets motion sickness.
I am. And there is an advisory stating that, people who get motion sickness should not ride.
But yet you did.
I did.
You did.
I closed my eyes and I screamed the entire 60 seconds.
He actually did. It was just sitting next to me, screaming the entire ride.
It's a reflexive reaction for people like me, or maybe it's just me who get motion sick. And I as the
yes
timer was counting down, that invisible timer that you can't actually see to tell the cars to launch, I was like, no, I don't want to go. No, I don't want to go. And then we got stuck.
Yeah, we got stuck.
In the launch tube.
In the launch tube, there's a big dramatic buildup, right? And then that's the point where you're
supposed to launch.
Well, the music crescendoed, the lights blinked, but we sat there. We just sat there for a minute.
Yes. And we didn't really sit there because you're not sitting on Tron. You are leaning over. Because you're on a motorcycle.
Crouching on Tron.
A light cycle.
Now let's talk about this for just a second, because there has been a little bit of hubbub on the internet about the accessibility of the Tron roller coaster. In so much as there are larger Americans who are saying that they cannot fit into the cycles, right? Into the cars. I don't know how to explain this. If you Google it to see what their motorcycles, the roller coaster ride, cars are designed like are designed like motorcycles, and you have to straddle them. So first of all, you have to be able to walk up to a motorcycle and put your leg up over it, right? You cannot, there's no grace. You can't come up from the back. You can't come in. You have to walk up to it, lift your leg up over it to get into the motorcycle. Right?
Kind of like, and one of the attractions that Disney has had this problem with before is Flight of Passage.
But on Flight of Passage, you can come at it from the back. Right.
I don't actually remember because I've only ever ridden Flight of Passage once.
But on this one, you've got two cars, two bikes that are side by side, and the passenger on the far side has to walk between the cars and go around and then get onto their bike. Anyway, you kneel down inside the car, and as you kneel down, the floor that you're kneeling on gives way and puts you into a crouching. You're basically belly flopping on top of the engine piece of the motorcycle, or the gas tank part of the motorcycle. And then you reach out in front of you and you grab onto the handles and you pull them back towards you. And as you pull them back towards you, several pieces at your leg lock into place. And there's a pad that comes back down over your back, the bottom of your back, that holds you in place. So it is a complicated piece of engineering.
Complicated, and it's not really comfortable.
And it is no matter your size, it is uncomfortable. Especially as if you get into it and you're sitting, you have to sit in that launch area for quite a while before they ever send you off into the launch tube, which we then got delayed in further. So we were in that crouching position for quite a while, and it was very uncomfortable. But what the piece that I wanted to point out was that because there is some concern about whether you can fit into the car or not, Disney has set up cars outside of the attraction. So there are
test seats
outside of the attraction. To further complicate the matter, they're set up in front of a step and repeat, which is one of those nice backgrounds. And they're also using it as a photo op. So you can go stand in line to sit on the Tron cycles in front of the nice, Tron step and repeat background and have your picture made, right? There's a cast member there. They'll take a picture with your cell phone for you.
I don't think I knew that that's what was called. So today I learned.
Oh, the step and repeat?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you've ever, any kind of big, red carpet party or whatever, where there's photos, whatever, those big walls that just have the logo repeating.
What kind of fancy life have you been living where you go to all these red carpet parties?
They're called a step and repeat. We have had step and repeats at some of our podcasting events that we've done in Vegas. So, that's where I learned that they were called a step and repeat. Anyway, this is zero interest to, like, most people are. They've already
we waited
switched.
3 months for this, and y'all are talking about.
I liked it better when you were on break. Anyway, here's the thing: this area that you can test the cars if you need to test the cars, or get your picture made in them, is up near the entrance to the ride. Of course, the line to get into the ride extends much further back than where those are. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you are someone who is slightly curious or you're nervous about fitting in the cars and you want to go up and test to see if you can fit into them, you're going to be doing so in front of 600 people standing in line looking at you. So
this is ostensibly for them to do this before you get to the load area to prevent you from having to do essentially a walk of shame all the way out of the attraction building.
But the unintended consequences of it is that where they've placed this is in full view of so not only, the line doesn't just get to see you do your walk of shame if you don't fit, they all get to watch you struggle to fit into it. And at least one person was having none of it. They couldn't fit into the car on their first try, and the cast member doing his best was like, all right, we're going to release this. Now I need you to scoot your butt back a little bit more because what's happening is you're not getting your butt back far enough. But she was already flustered, having 600 people staring at her while she's trying to do this. She just immediately burst out, it's like, Disney should be ashamed of themselves for blah, 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 blah.
And you know what? In that case, she's not necessarily wrong.
Well, she is and she isn't. She's not wrong in the sense that it was, I can well understand her getting flustered. I can understand her, frustration of it all because she is sitting there with everyone watching her do this. And, she's already worried that she wasn't going to fit in here, and now she's doing it in front of an audience. That, I completely understand. I have no problems with her getting upset and walking away. But at the same time, the cast member was trying to give her advice. The cast member was, and there were people much larger than her in line, and I didn't see anyone getting kicked out. So, there was a way, to get them into the seats. Now, if you absolutely cannot fit on that seat, there is on two of the cars, there's the very back car is a more traditional bench seating. But that has to be used for the accessible folks, right? For
folks with disability access.
Yeah, disability access. That was the word I was looking for. So you're going to be waiting for those back cars. Anyway, long story short, if you need to find out if you can fit into that car or not, you do have to ask up near the end of the line where the walkway to get to that is, because it's kind of segregated off and it's not really well marked. You know what I'm saying? It's not well marked.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know about it until we got up there.
Yeah. But there is a way for you to go and check to see whether you can fit into the car or not. Other than that, the ride is very cool.
Could Disney put up a screen or something?
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like there is an area there that is completely covered by scrims and stuff, which is presumably the merchandise store that they haven't finished with yet. I kind of wish they would have moved the cars in that area so that you would have more privacy to get your to check, because nobody wants that. Nobody wants to, that's me. I'm going to try to get into this car, and you don't look attractive no matter what. I mean, when you're squatting down on a roller coaster car with your hands shoved out and your belly flopping on top of a gas tank, it's not a pretty look for anyone. But anyway, just beware. Other than that, I enjoyed the ride. Did you enjoy the ride? Other than the screaming?
Well, I think I probably need to ride it again. I would say now that I know what to expect, but I didn't actually see any of the ride itself. So
from an intensity level, the roller coasters that you have ridden at the Magic Kingdom include Barnstormer, Big Thunder Mountain, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and you've never ridden Space Mountain.
And I never will, because I like my neck and my back where they are.
Okay. And at Hollywood Studios, you have ridden Slinky Dog. Of the 4 coasters that you have ridden, Barnstormer, Thunder Mountain, Mine Train, and Slinky, where would you place Tron?
Guardians.
Guardians would be, and Guardians. So Guardians clearly was the most intense out of all of them, yes?
Guardians is intense in its own special ways
Yeah.
because it's the perfect storm of everything that will screw up a person who already has screwed up equilibrium.
Yeah.
Tron is very intense from the launch onwards.
So
It's because of that, it's also very short, which is
yeah.
not a bad thing for me because it's over almost as soon as it has started.
Okay.
That's not a bad thing. I'm sure it's a very cool coaster visually. I just need to be able to see it. One of the things I saw bandied about online was that the launch is what makes that coaster, and I'm pretty sure I would agree.
The launch is what makes which coaster?
Tron.
Okay. Yeah, the launch is pretty intense. It's longer. It's a longer launch than Rock and Roller Coaster. I think like Rock and Roller Coaster's launch is like 2.5 seconds, and I would say Tron's is probably closer to 5 seconds. But you go faster. It's like it takes you up to 60 miles an hour within
Yes,
from zero, from a dead stop to 60 miles an hour in about 5 seconds.
Yep. Tron is the fastest coaster at the Magic Kingdom, and I believe at Disney.
But I'm still curious. Would you put Guardians as more intense than Tron?
Only because I can't probably ever ride Guardians again.
Okay, and then so most intense with the Guardian is Tron second.
Yes.
What's next? Big Thunder?
Thunder,
Big Thunder would be third.
and then Mine Train, and then Slinky, and then Barnstormer.
Okay. That sounds about right. So there you go. So if you are someone who has motion sickness problems, whatever, like Zach,
I had taken a double dose of Dramamine before, and I know that closing your eyes is not necessarily the best way to deal with motion sickness on a coaster. You probably should try to leave them open, but like I said, closing my eyes is an instinctive, reflexive reaction. I was a little queasy afterwards, but it passed relatively quickly.
okay. And you also had a sangria at Skipper Canteen before it. So I'm
Yes,
sure that helped.
we had just eaten lunch about 45 minutes prior, so it probably hadn't all settled.
Well, there you go. Okay. That is
So,
Tron. Yes.
question though,
Yes. I have an answer.
is Tron
Yes.
worth that interminable, terrible, why is Disney taking so long to build a clone? Wait.
Okay. This requires me to pull out the soapbox for a moment. Disney does not build their rides. Nobody, this is not news to anyone. Disney contracts out to different roller coaster manufacturers, different people to build their rides. I feel like part of the reason that it took so long to build was when Disney laid off construction people during the pandemic. Universal scooped them up. And I feel like there was probably some conflicts there of there's only so many people that build roller coasters. I feel like, I don't know that for sure, but I kind of feel like that is a lot of it. I also know that I've heard bandied about that this is a clone of an existing roller coaster that they have in Japan?
Shanghai.
In Shanghai. And why this should be a no-brainer. I would say that the Florida soil conditions here are not what they are in Shanghai. And I know that there was a lot of delay in having to repump in some sand and stuff. It's like, there's a reason that there's no parking lot in front of the Magic Kingdom, right? There's a reason that there is a big Seven Seas Lagoon there other than it being, a fantasy thing, right? It's like the land that Disney is built on is not all capable of holding huge structures on it. So I just feel like maybe there was some engineering problems that they might have run into. All of which is to say, I'm not trying to defend them. I'm just saying, yeah, I feel like that's fine. I mean, I'm not a person that needs to have a new attraction every single day. And it didn't bother me that it was going to take, whenever they open it, they're going to open it. And I would rather it be done right. This is like the old, sorry, we're going to go off on a video game tangent here for just a second. This is like the old school Blizzard of it's ready when it's ready, as opposed to we've got to hit this arbitrary date because, marketing or whatever. So I'm much more in the camp of, it's ready when it's ready, and give it to me correctly. Give it to me well done instead of, Hagrid's. I'm just saying. If you have any complaints about that, our email address is don'tdodisney@gmail.com.
Or you can leave a comment or
you can leave
something.
A comment. Hey, this is a good time to point out that if you're listening to this as a podcast, we also do this as a YouTube video. You can find it on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/WDW Aristocrats. That is very hard to say.
It is.
And if you are watching on our YouTube channel, hey, guess what? We're also a podcast. You can get us anywhere that podcasts are found. So if you want to listen to us in your car or while you're vacuuming, washing dishes, I'm thinking of places that I listen to podcasts.
While you're going on your walk around the neighborhood.
While you're going on your walk around the neighborhood, or perhaps you're training for your Disney 10K, which is coming up in April. Yeah. There we go. And that's the other thing. I think I'm now switching topics, by the way. The Disney 10K, we didn't have this on the list to talk about, but I think we'll talk about this coming up because I am doing the Monsters Inc. 10K at Disney World on April 15th. So
I am not doing the Monsters Inc. 10K at Disney World on April 15th.
That's right.
February 15th.
Yeah, because there isn't one.
I may, however, be doing the Wine and Dine 10K in November.
Yeah. Sign-up dates for the Wine and Dine open on March 21st.
That's for the general public. I believe Club Run Disney people get it a week earlier.
Yeah, a week earlier. Anyway, all of way, and we have a trip going to California, and then we're going to Disneyland.
We are going to Disneyland
in like less than 3 weeks. We're going to be going to Disneyland. We'll do some stuff over there for the channel. So yeah, we're back. Sorry for the delay, but
life happens. This is not and will never be our full-time job.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because we would have to be good at it. Anyway, let's talk about the main topic that we were going to talk about tonight. And honestly, I feel like I went on more and more about Tron because I feel like I'm more authoritative on Tron because I'm more comfortable talking about Tron than I am talking about this, but it does need to be talked about because it is out there in the universe. The Reedy Creek Improvement District, which is only allowed to be called that for another 2 years because it's now been officially changed to the
Central Florida Tourism Oversight District.
CFOD. And there's a lot of speculation and consternation about what this means with the removal of the Reedy Creek Improvement District, with the reimagining of the Reedy Creek Improvement District. So the Cliff Notes version of this here is Bob Chapek made a comment that Ron DeSantis was upset about. And so he decided to fire back in the most childish, petty way that he possibly could I'll just take away your special tax district. Now, special tax districts are nothing new for Florida. We have 1,900 special tax districts in the state of Florida. The Villages is in a special tax district. They are done anytime that some kind of a big corporate or big project spans across more than one city or more than one county so that they can unify the building codes and simplify things. So a tax district is not special in the state of Florida. The other thing that I see people saying a lot is, take back their tax exempt status. A taxing district doesn't mean that you're exempt from taxes.
Disney still very much pays taxes.
That is not true. They are not a tax exempt organization. But what happened is that Ron DeSantis decided to to push through the legislature to dissolve the Reedy Creek Improvement District. That left about $1 billion in bonds that were being paid back by Disney suddenly got reverted to Orange and Osceola counties. Now, suddenly, if you lived in Orange and Osceola County, congratulations, you're now the proud new owner of $1 billion of debt.
I would like to be the proud owner of $1 billion, just not of debt.
So what had to happen is that they had to kind of reverse their dissolving of the Reedy Creek Improvement District. And they did that very quietly because Ron DeSantis likes to tout about the fact that he never makes a U-turn. He never changes his mind. And of course, he's running for president, even though it hasn't officially announced yet. But the point is, it's a lot of show. There's a lot of show going on here. But what they did do is that they removed the existing board of the Reedy Creek Improvement District and replaced, there were 5 commissioners that made the approvals of the permits as they came through. The things so the special taxing district is responsible for infrastructure and permits, basically, is kind of, they're what your county whatever county you live in, if you don't live in a city, if you're in an unincorporated county where you live, it's the county that decides, what the building permits are, what the building codes are, what the permits are, whether we can build a road there.
Who maintains the road?
Who's going to build the road? Who's going to contract? What construction company is going to contract to build the roads? These are all things that Reedy Creek decides. What Reedy Creek didn't decide was content inside the theme parks, any kind of say so as to what Disney as a corporation did within their business.
And there was a statement made by DeSantis about wanting to have some sort of say in Disney's content.
Correct. And that is bluster, right? That will never happen, because then what you're saying is that you're advocating that the government should be able to tell a private corporation how to run their business based off of how the government feels their morals should be. That will never fly with any Republican anywhere. To just allow the government to go into Burger King and say, I don't like it being called the Whopper. That's offensive to me. You should call this, the Whimper or something. It's like, I'm just saying, there's no way, it doesn't matter what Ron DeSantis says he wants to do. There's no way that that's actually going to carry water. However, what did happen is that they kicked out the commissioners that were there, and then they switched the legislation so that the governor could appoint the commissioners to the Reedy Creek Improvement District. Ron DeSantis has now appointed 5 of his very best friends. Okay, I feel like I have been bloviating about this so much that I overheated the camera.
In fact,
I did.
We did.
Yeah. Nobody knows what's going to happen here. All the doomsayers and the clickbaiters no one knows. At this point in time, the only thing that has happened is that the board is now appointed by the governor. And as we all know, governors come and go. Disney has been in this state for over 50 years, and there have been numerous governors that have come and gone during that time, both Democratic and Republican, and Disney will continue on. So I don't see a need to be panicked about this in any way, shape, or form. Ron DeSantis, whether he's elected president or not, will cease to be governor of Florida in another 2 years. So, and he can't run again because of term limits. So,
and don't get me wrong, I don't want any crazy, stupid crap to happen because of this.
Yeah.
But until such things start actually happening, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's pointless to speculate or to worry about it at this point, because there's nothing you can do other than vote. If you're a Floridian. But even so, Disney is a business. Disney brings in more tourist dollars to the state of Florida than any other company. And, I think it's estimated the Walt Disney World has over 50 million guests annually that come, to I disagree with how they count those, but that's the numbers that we're going to go with. So I feel that, they're not going to do it. They're not going to kill the golden goose, right? They're not going to.
There will very likely be no perceptible impact on the day-to-day operations of Walt Disney World.
Yeah. So nothing to worry about. So relax, everyone. Take a deep cleansing breath. Don't worry about it. Just remember this the next time that we need to vote, if you're a Floridian. So, and that's it. I feel like we have gone on far too long, and so I think we're going to tie a nice little bow on this. Normally, we end our shows by doing a little segment that we like to call our heroes and villains of the week. Do you have a hero of the week?
I would like to say, Disney, thank you for finally getting Tron open. I don't care that it took so long. You said you were going to do it, and you did. And frankly, I'm tired of all the Tron took too long discourse anyway.
Well, there you go.
And also the Tron is too short and Tron has no story. That's also dumb.
I think my hero of the week is the waiter that we had at Skipper Canteen. I cannot remember his name, but he was definitely into the spirit of Skipper Canteen.
He was punning it up with the best of the skippers on the attraction itself. I wonder if he was one previously.
He had not met a pun that he did not like. So that would be my hero
Smart
of the week.
man.
Yeah. And I think we can both agree our villain of the week is Ron DeSantis. So we'll just leave it at that. Anyway, if you would like to send us an email, you can do so. It's don'tdodisney@gmail.com, right?
Or wdwaristocrats@gmail.com
Or just leave a comment on our YouTube video.
or on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
On our Instagram.
We have a TikTok that I might start trying to figure out how
No,
to
you're going
do
to start
things
figuring
with.
out because we need to do that. So yeah, so yeah, all kind of new things coming. Like I said, we're going to California in a couple of weeks, and I think if you've ever planned for a Walt Disney World vacation, we're going to be talking about that on our next show because we have people coming down to visit us for the
Race weekend.
Monsters Inc. 10K, which means we've been planning a Disney vacation, for them as if we were out of town.
Yes, instead of,
Right. So we're going to be talking about that next week. So until next week, don't. Wait, no, I see, I say that part and then you say the without us part. See, so I say, please, whatever you do, don't do Disney.
Without us? Was that right?
You asked that as a question. It should be a statement.
See you real soon.